This right here is a YouTuber named Colin, who in October of 2024 uploaded a video titled Exploring an Abandoned Haunted House to his channel The Bearded Explorer. His channel mainly focuses on urban exploration, and he frequently shares footage of him exploring various abandoned locations across the UK. In this particular video, Colin chose to explore an abandoned haunted house situated in the middle of a cemetery. According to Colin, the house once belonged to a classmate of his named Lauren, who lived there with her family. During their time in the house, the family reported hearing strange noises, and Lauren herself admitted to seeing mysterious figures at the foot of her bed. Since then, no one has lived in the house, as it is believed to be haunted. Despite all this, Colin set out to investigate the haunted house alone in the middle of the night. Colin begins the video by walking through the cemetery to reach the haunted house. After locating the house, he squeezes through a small window to enter. As he steps inside, he immediately notices that the house is in poor condition, with deteriorating walls and ceilings, some of which appear as if they could collapse at any moment. Nonetheless, Colin continues his exploration, moving from one room to another. However, just a few minutes into his exploration, while walking through one of the rooms, he suddenly hears the sound of footsteps coming from the upper levels, and that's when things take a turn for the worse for Colin.
Okay, let's go through the hallway. We've got the main door just there. Okay, let's go in here. There's always a creepy chair. In a room you go in, there's always a creepy chair. Oh, look at the door over there, that's cool. That's really cool. It's like a chapel sort of design door, you know, like a pointy one. What on earth is that? Oh my God, I've just got the biggest, like the goosebumps have gone all up the back of my legs and all on my arms. That's horrible. What was that? I don't know if you heard that, but that sounded like a tap, tap, tap. Okay, I'm gonna get out of here. Honestly, the goosebumps in here are horrible. These doors are lovely. Look how thick they are. Oh God, what the f is that? That actually sounded like there was someone upstairs. Hello? Okay, that was horrible. That actually sounded like there was somebody walking around upstairs. This is terrifying now. Let's go and have a look. Oh, I don't like this. I really don't like this. Hello? This one's empty. See outside, there's a road out there. It's very, very dark out there tonight. It's so creepy here, honestly, it's horrible. Okay, let's that mirror, I don't like that mirror at all. That is horrible.
After Colin heard the sound of footsteps, he immediately called out and went upstairs to investigate. Unfortunately, he did not find anything or anyone who could have caused those footsteps. To make matters even more disturbing, after Colin uploaded this video, his viewers noticed something he had overlooked during his exploration. Many comments from his viewers pointed out that when Colin initially walked into the main hallway, the blue gloves were on top of the cardboard box. But just moments later, as Colin stepped out of the living room, the blue gloves were lying on the floor right next to the box. Disturbingly, when Colin heard the footsteps and was walking up the stairs to investigate, a tennis ball was clearly visible on the edge of the staircase. However, when he entered one of the rooms and came back out, the tennis ball had mysteriously shifted several feet away from its original position. Colin was completely unaware of any of this and was still attempting to find the source of the footsteps. However, as he went back down to investigate further, that's when he stumbled upon something truly disturbing.
Honestly, guys, I'm going to try and get my arm out. The goosebumps, you can't see. The goosebumps on my arms and my legs at the moment is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Oh, we've got another room down here, haven't we? Hello? God, I hate it. You think you can hear something. There's a ladder, but that's too low to go in there. There's another loft space there. Oh, I can't go out there. You can see the old flint wall up there. Look, that's really cool. Wow. Okay, well, I think this is the last room. I don't think it's like a cupboard or something. Oh, that's the bathroom. Oh, fuck.
After Colin went downstairs and opened the bathroom door, someone or something hiding behind the shower curtains forcefully pushed the curtain aside. Colin, afraid for his life, immediately rushed out of the house and returned to his car. It remains unclear who or what was hiding behind those curtains, as well as how the gloves and tennis ball mysteriously moved from their original positions. It's difficult to determine whether Colin's encounter was paranormal or if a squatter or homeless individual was hiding inside the house all along. However, since Colin left the haunted house before he could discover the truth behind any of these bizarre encounters, this mystery might remain unsolved. This is a YouTuber named Chris Hill who in July 2023 uploaded a video on his channel, Urbex Hill, in which he recorded footage of his disturbing encounter while exploring an abandoned church. Chris's channel mainly focuses on documenting his creepy experiences at various abandoned locations. In this video, Chris chose to visit Holton Avenue to film the abandoned church and the surrounding buildings. For those unfamiliar with the area, it is recognized as a particularly creepy street in Cleveland, as it is entirely deserted and abandoned. In the early 1900s, the first Hungarian Baptist church was constructed there, but it eventually fell into neglect and was left abandoned, along with the other buildings on the street. In April 2016, the remains of a woman named Jessica Coleman were discovered there after she had gone missing, and sadly, her attacker was never identified. As Chris entered the abandoned church to film, he observed creepy graffiti, shattered glass, and deteriorating walls. While exploring the basement, Chris found evidence indicating that someone had recently been inside the church. He also positioned several cameras throughout the building to capture various perspectives, and about 10 minutes into his exploration, one of the cameras on the main floor recorded something very disturbing.
What is that? I could have swore I heard something. That's an animal. That's weird. That was upstairs. Oh shit.
Chris initially suspected that an animal was responsible for the strange noises echoing through the church. However, his suspicions were quickly dismissed when he heard a loud door slam coming from upstairs. Realizing that someone might be in the church with him, Chris began to search the area, but he found no one. Feeling unsafe, he decided to step outside and explore the other buildings on the street. To his surprise, the surrounding houses were in even worse condition than the church. Many of the houses looked as though they could collapse at any moment. Chris, however, decided to investigate the most damaged house in the area. About 30 minutes into his exploration, he decided to venture down into the basement. It was at this moment that he stumbled upon something terrifying.
There's a basement. Oh, that looks creepy as f***. This is sketchy. This cannot be safe. Hope I don't find a body down here. It actually looks like it's just underneath the house. It's not really a basement. Still creepy. Sorry. I didn't know nobody lived there. Shit. It smelled like piss. I knew somebody was in there.
As Chris entered the basement, he heard a sound coming from the ground floor, prompting him to quickly get out. When he returned upstairs to investigate, a person holding a baseball bat suddenly pulled back the curtains, afraid for his life. Chris quickly apologized and ran out of the house. Despite the horrible state of the supposedly abandoned house, he realized that someone was indeed living there. The individual was likely a homeless person or a squatter who didn't want him around. It remains uncertain whether this was the same individual who had slammed the door earlier at the church, or if it was a different person. This unexpected encounter took Chris by surprise, ultimately leading him to decide to leave the area for good. In March 2020, a British YouTuber named Adam uploaded a rather disturbing video where he investigated an abandoned murder house on his channel, Adam Mark Explores. His channel mainly focuses on urban exploration, and he frequently posts footage of his strange encounters in various abandoned locations throughout the UK. In this particular video, Adam decided to explore an abandoned murder house, which is also known as Sally's Murder House, located in Macclesfield, England. According to the legend, a young girl named Sally was murdered in the house and later buried in the woods nearby. This house is considered one of the most haunted mansions in England and has been linked to paranormal activity for many years. Adam begins the video by exploring various rooms in the house and shows his viewers the creepy graffiti and warnings displayed on the walls. Throughout his exploration, he mentions that the house is in poor condition and has been left abandoned for quite some time. After investigating the lower level, he chose to go upstairs. As he was making his way up, he suddenly heard a loud noise coming from one of the rooms he had just left. And this is when things started to take a very disturbing turn.
This is very Amityville. Sally's in the woods. You just knocked through the wall. Oh my god. The blue ball in there. This is disgustingly scary, this house. Bad vibes. But we'll just make our way down because that's downstairs there. Wow, this is strange. Look at these old wardrobes. Right, we'll have a little bit of fun, guys. What film does this house remind you of? Let me know in the comments. Because I know what I'm getting. I've said it 3 times. Right, tell me if you hear anything and I'm not just freaking out on my own. We're just going to check up the upstairs. F off. Hello? The f was that?
After hearing the loud noise, Adam quickly went downstairs to investigate, but he unfortunately found nothing. To make things even more disturbing, after Adam released the video, his viewers noticed something that he had overlooked while exploring. Several comments on his video pointed out that the blue ball in the center of the room hadn't been there when Adam initially explored the room, and that Adam might have seen the same ball again on the top floor. But he was completely unaware of any of this and continued with his exploration. As he was attempting to understand the source of the loud noise he had just heard, he suddenly hears water flooding into the basement.
Right, let's head downstairs now and find out what that bloody running water is. No way. I've sussed out what that is. Oh my god. Someone's flooding the basement. Oh my god. Who the f***'s done that? Guys, my head's gone now. Somebody's flooded the basement. Don't even know what you do about that. There's not even any wind. But this is the last room. Oh, my head's gone. Just another utility room. And then back up. Right, let's get out of here and try and work out who to call.
After observing the water flood into the basement, Adam became overwhelmed with paranoia and anxiety over what he was witnessing, leading him to decide to call it a night. However, leaving the house wasn't going to be as simple as he'd anticipated. While he was heading down the stairs to exit the house, he was startled by the sound of a piano coming from one of the rooms.
Right, so that's f***ing. I need to work out who to ring to sort that flood out all. And I'm hearing some f***ing weird shit, man. I need to get out of here. Try and work out who's the call. Right. Off. Hello? Off. Off. Fuck this. Fuck this. Do you get out?
After hearing someone play the piano, Adam rushes into the room to see who was pressing the keys, but yet again he finds no one there. Disturbed by these strange encounters, Adam, afraid for his life, ultimately decides to leave the house. The mystery of how the blue ball ended up in the middle of the room, along with the source of the loud bang and the piano playing, remains unsolved, as Adam never discovered the truth behind any of these strange encounters. In August of 2024, a YouTuber named Frank uploaded a rather terrifying video titled "Apparition of a Child Seen Hiding in an Abandoned Mansion" on his channel Franco TV. His channel mainly focuses on urban exploration, and he often uploads footage of his strange and bizarre encounters exploring various haunted and abandoned locations. In this particular video, Frank decided to investigate an abandoned mansion located somewhere in Peru. According to Frank, the mansion is situated in a pretty dangerous neighborhood as it is known to be a hotspot for criminal activity. He also notes that the mansion was previously raided by the police for suspected human trafficking. As Frank approaches the building, he peeks through a broken window and notices creepy graffiti and writings on the walls. As he walks inside, he finds fingerprints all over one of the windows, indicating that someone else might have been there recently, but doesn't hear or see anyone else inside and continues with his investigation. However, little did Frank know that encountering another person would be the least of his worries, because when he stepped into one of the rooms, he stumbled upon something truly disturbing.
You can tell a lot of people been here with the handprints. Looks like little kid hands. See it? Jesus Christ. I hope I'm not walking into something. Literally just thought I heard somebody move. This is a room I wanted to check out originally. Oh, what the hell? Wait. I'm not seeing this right. Why are these things like barred in there? It looks like a dungeon or something. They don't want somebody coming out. Hola? This place is known for pretty much trafficking around this property. And they ended up, it was a big bust. And I've already seen a ton of other things that kind of implicate that as well. Oh, that one opened up. That one opened up quite easy. And there's red stains on the door. And there's more suspicious red stains on the wall. What scares me with this is that this definitely looks like real blood. And this too. Looks like somebody was like putting their bloody hand around the wall, like they were waiting in here for a while.
As Frank entered the room, he immediately noticed two identical doors with metal bars over them. When he opened one of the doors, he saw red stains on the door and even on the walls. This was particularly alarming given that Frank had mentioned the house was raided for trafficking. After this disturbing discovery, Frank carefully investigated the room, trying to comprehend what had happened inside. As he looked around, he suddenly heard mysterious noises coming from the main hallway.
What the hell is this? But this is disgusting. It even stinks in this room. What the hell is that? Hola. Holy shit, this thing just went off. I want to make sure nobody walked in here. Ayúdame. Comen matar. What this says on the wall is help me. They're going to pretty much eliminate me. But ironically, I feel a little bit more safer when it's all dark because nobody sees me with a light on. Listen, the thing went off again. What the hell is up with this thing? I'm gonna take this with me. In fact, I'm gonna put this right here. I don't know if this thing's defected or what, but this is the only toy that I found in this place thus far. So at this point, I'm gonna leave the toy right here. I'm gonna see if I can ask it to turn the toy on, because I think whatever's here doesn't want me next to the toy, or maybe it's a child, or maybe it's some sort of, something's messing with me here.
After hearing the mysterious noises, Frank immediately went to investigate their source. He discovered the sounds were coming from a kid's toy remote. This strange experience left him puzzled. He left the toy on the floor and began searching for any sign of someone or something that might have caused it to activate. Unfortunately, he found nothing. But then, the toy started making noises again. Not knowing if someone was playing a prank or if the toy was malfunctioning, Frank decided to place it in the middle of the room. He then went to the end of the hallway to see if the toy would make noise again. As he stared intently at the toy, he saw something far worse than a noisy toy.
Let's see if I can get it to go off again. Niño, ¿tú puedes mover la cosa? Toca la botón. Niño. I'm gonna turn off the light. What the fuck is that? What the fuck was that? I just heard a sound. Listen. I don't know what I just heard or seen. I just seen something really creepy just standing there. Hold on, I'm gonna go walk to it. I swear to God, I just seen something standing right here. I don't know what the hell just happened, but I was waiting for the toy to turn off, and as soon as I turned off the light, I seen something right over here. It almost looked like a reflection peeking in from the light, but then it moved. I don't know what that was. Oh, I'm getting out. I'm gonna go outside. I don't know what the f that was.
As Frank stared intently at the toy, he called out in Spanish, "Kid, can you move the thing?" Tapped the button, and just moments later, as he switched off his flashlight, you can see a white figure resembling a child as it stands behind the toy. Frank instantly flicked his light back on and rushed to investigate the spot where he'd seen the figure, but yet again he found nothing. Disturbed by this bizarre encounter, Frank immediately ran out of the mansion. As he tried to make sense of everything he'd just witnessed, he noticed something peeking out of a first-floor window.
Right now I'm looking at a window from the outside here. I literally just saw a head peeking out right from that window. Somebody was just staring at me. Is it moving? Look at that. What the hell is that? Alright, I don't know what I'm looking at here, but I'm gonna keep moving as normal. There's something in that back room, but I'm not going into this mansion. I do have the K2 meter. I want to see if I can hear or see whatever the hell I just saw. Can you give me a sign? Can you touch the toy? I just need to know that you're here with me. This place is so freaking creepy. So I switched over to my other camera. I thought I felt safer. Completely dark, I lied. I definitely do not. What the fuck? Hola? Hola? What was that? I literally saw what looked like an arm. It looked like a kid's arm just pushed the door open.
After Frank saw something peeking out of the window, he went inside holding his ghost hunting equipment. As he walked toward one of the rooms, a small hand, seemingly belonging to a child, suddenly pushed through the door. Frank once again searched everywhere but found nothing. This terrifying encounter left him shaken, but also filled him with anxiety about the sinister events that must have once taken place within the abandoned mansion. As a result, he decided to place a piece of chocolate where he'd just seen the hand. What he witnessed next was truly heartbreaking and disturbing.
This is what you call a soufflime. One of the best chocolates in Peru. I'm gonna put it right there. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door. Hear that? I just heard a sound. I can hear what sounds like the wrapper moving. Listen. That was my stomach. Do you hear it? I definitely heard what sounded like the wrapper moving. That was right outside the door. The candy's still on the floor. I'm keeping my chocolate. I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at this chocolate and I want it more and more. But I did hear this thing moving.
After hearing the wrapper moving, Frank immediately opened the door and searched every room, desperate for an explanation for what he was witnessing. After another failed investigation, Frank picked up the chocolate and stepped outside the mansion. However, as he was looking through one of the windows, he saw the kid staring directly at him.
Sorry if I'm shaking so much. That's that whole hallway. And then right here is the big window. What the hell is that? I legit just saw a kid staring at me. I thought it was something else, like an illusion thing, but it moved. It moved right in there, and if you look to the side, it doesn't seem to be anything. Look, what the fuck? Look at this. There's literally handprints, little kid handprints all over the window. Definitely look like little kid hands looking in. I am 100% convinced that there is a kid inside this building, or a ghost of one, but I just seen it right here, peeking right out, and then went right back in.
As Frank stepped outside the mansion, he glanced towards one of the windows. For a brief moment, he saw a child staring directly at him before vanishing. Disturbingly, when Frank approached the window, he discovered fingerprints and stains on the glass, right where he'd just seen the child. After this bizarre encounter, Frank decided to investigate further and went back inside the mansion, hoping to find the child. However, as usual, he found nothing and eventually left. Later, while talking to one of the mansion's security guards, Frank recounted his encounter, describing the child looking directly at him through the window, the hand pushing the door, and everything else he'd witnessed. To his surprise, the guard confirmed that there had been multiple reports of a child being seen inside the mansion. He even admitted to having seen the child himself. The reason for the presence of a white figure resembling a child and the true events that transpired inside the mansion remains a mystery. However, based on the information Frank provided, it's very likely that something sinister was at play.